Hello everyone, welcome to a new short market update. Let me start by saying that if we are not ready to zoom out and play the high time frame, I think then we should trade altcoins more frequently, because if we are not ready to handle all these daily fluctuations and we get anxious and worried about every small red candle we see, every number we see going down in the screen, perhaps we are not ready to be invested in altcoins for such a long time. I think we should have some kind of coherence between what we feel we can handle and what we actually do, right? So again, I see too much worry about this, and perhaps it's time to zoom out until things really break, because otherwise this is just like free anxiety and stress for no reason, in my opinion. I posted yesterday here with BTC that I didn't want BTC to take such a long time to attack all-time high again, because it was showing some weakness, and the longer we took to attack again, the more likely it would be for price to retest lower levels, and that's what we are doing so far. Again, it's Friday, we are entering the weekend, so it could really be a scammy price action. We have seen that in low volume weekends, and so far it's around 104, one of the levels that I mentioned. To me, the most important one is 200 to 102.5 more or less, which was the biggest support we had previously, and it's also the 4-hour 200 trend, as I'm gonna show you now. In terms of oscillators, right now it doesn't really matter that much. We can see that here in Q4 we have the rejection at all-time high. Right now we are a little bit above and correcting. This rejection, all the price did was pretty much retest potential previous support and making a lower high. We could be doing that here, high, lower high, even if we test again 102. So if you forget this is BTC, we can see that it's been climbing. And I expected this to be a little more with bigger pullback, so we haven't had that, and no one has complained, right? So it's all good so far. We could even argue that back here with this retracement, we built small bullish divergence on the daily, and yeah, this was meaningful after what we see later, right? And then we enter the real overheated area and the first bearish divergence on the daily. In fact, if you take a look at this RSI price action, you can see that it wasn't a daily divergence here. So this was more a pullback related to all-time high, as we have seen plenty of times. It's just about analyzing data and see if this is something new or not. I mentioned here, back here, that this could be invalidated if we crossed 110, and that's what we did. And we arguably are printing a bullish divergence here in the daily. I don't really care much about it, to be honest, but it's something that perhaps we could pay attention to. It's something we haven't built. We can see here, no bullish divergence since the reversal here at the bottom. And something that could make this bullish divergence interesting, the same way that it was here, if you realize this bullish divergence is opposite to this one, in the sense that it's a higher low for price but a lower low for oscillators. This is very hidden, which is continuation, right? Trend continuation, the reversal here and the continuation. You can see the reversal here. This is a regular divergence, same as this one. So trend reversal. Now we have some resistance, correction, whatever, at the all-time high, same here. Hidden, continuation. Is this another hidden one for continuation? It looks exactly the same, right? And if I take a look at the 4-hour chart, it's even it's also similar. And this is something that I want you to show why it's important, in my opinion. You know that I said plenty of times that to run decently, we need to break above the RSI MA on the weekly and to be above the 400-hour trend, right? The 200 in the 4-hour, and the daily. The daily here in Q4 we broke, reclaimed, and we didn't even look back. We are kind of doing the same thing. In fact, you can see we are pretty much here, right? breakout, the retest, it was a little bit front round, this little chop, it's pretty much the same, right? But it's even more obvious here in the 4 hour, because we can see one after losing the trend, we chop around it, we don't reclaim it with strength. Same here, it was even worse in the case. This was even worse because this was toying with people's expectations for 8 months. We're back, we're not, we're back, we're not, it's over. Lower highs, lower lows, right? But then we have this shift with higher highs, higher lows, sorry. And we first reclaim, retest, and off we go. It doesn't mean we have to retest twice, but it's after such a long correction, the reclaim, if you want it to be real and sustainable, you need it to be gradual. You need to confirm it, right? Think about someone who has been injured and at the hospital. The recovery is slowly, right? You're in the good path, but you need to go slowly until you confirm you are good to go again. Something similar. We have reclaimed here. This is the 84K cluster, and the accumulation that I said would be a launchpad, and it was. Potential front runs here. And even if we retest it here to 102.5, which is here you can see that, it's the 200, it would be the level that I posted here was the previous support, which by the way was pretty much the same as here. So confluence, right? Until this breaks, I don't see nothing to worry about. And people are getting anxious, perhaps because very specific altcoin is doing badly now. Again, I still think there is no reason to panic at all. This is just daily noise. This is the 4 hour. This is chop to make people anxious. Seriously, I think we have to zoom out. If you have a plan and you plan for the altcoin season, or you plan for the cycle, I assume you have a long-term plan and a high time frame perspective and approach. Otherwise, why are we sweating every freaking hourly candle, right? So if we take a look at total 3, what I see is this is why perspective matters. Cycle-wise, higher highs and higher lows, right? I mentioned here that the correction after the local top of December was a Fibonacci, very, very important level. Since then, we crossed this second Fibonacci, got rejected by this expected area, as I said, and for now we are holding this Fibonacci, 841, 845, something like that. That's the confluence we have. If we only take a look at this, bears would say that cut bounce, it's over. Seriously, you are just isolating and cherry picking this structure to just say it's over. And for now, all I see is that total 3 might just go for the retest. Remember when I posted not long ago, did you give up here to chase here? I posted it like, I don't know, a week ago or something. I don't remember because I post very frequently. But all total 3 did was find a top, another bottom with a wick here, pretty much similar here to Fibonacci level, reclaim the next one, chop around it while consolidating and saying, okay, we are back in the weekly. Rejection, hesitation, right? Because it was also absorbed here. Candle to retest it again. We could be doing something like that. And unless we lose this level, if we lose it, the doors open for another retest here, and that could be bad. But as long as we don't make any lower low, we are still in the game. I don't want to see this lost because altcoins would suffer a lot. But considering total 3 others, they are just push in tandem with BTC. As long as BTC doesn't break a structure and goes really, really down, I see no reason to worry about that yet. So in hindsight, it could just be a retest, as we have mentioned several times. The trend changes, higher lows, we reclaim, boom, oh, okay, it was obvious, right? But if you were here as we are living now, you can see how hard it is emotionally if you're stuck with low time frame. Imagine buying here. Yes, you say that because you saw that later. But imagine we are not here. Are you afraid? You think it's over. You think it's a lower low. It will never come. That's the key. It's very easy to be an expert when you have the data. You see what happened later, and then you can find an explanation. Oh, it was just a retest. But what about here? Do we apply the same kind of logic and data, or do we just panic? That's why I say that you are the key factor to making it, to leaving early, to staying too late, to selling earlier, whatever. Again, what are you basing your moves on? Because the feeling I have on Twitter is that people are basing their moves, no matter what I post, no matter what they read, no matter how many hours you spend, you eventually you give up to emotions. Work on that, man. We have plenty of times. The market is given plenty of time to really strengthen and develop a strategy to block all the noise. Sometimes I even have the need to block the noise and not post and nothing, and just open my charts by myself. This is all I need. I don't have takes, I don't have opinion in every candle, I don't have people posting tremendous threads in every, no, just data. And if I follow data, I follow data till the end, right? So far so good. The 4 hour, and this is the 4 hour total 3, you can say, okay, but it is losing it. That's why key levels, structural levels, as I said, horizontal levels are way more important. This is confluence to know when the trend is ready to go. Previously, after reclaiming it here in April, we retest the upper band, and now we are threatening to lose it. This is the 4 hour. We can be back again in the weekend and nothing happened. Look at the slow reclaim here in Q4. We see the downtrend, we see the shift, higher low, higher low, we are reclaiming it, and who cares about this wicks, this fakes out. In fact, if we take a look at what BTC did here, it was late October to early November, right? The rejection on the price action around all-time high, same here. Let's take a look what Total 3 did. It was around the 4 hour, it lost it because BTC rejects, and when it was ready to push, see ya, right? Everyone left behind here because we are going lower, right? And what did structurally did? Yeah, just another retest of this support. What we might be doing now, and a retest of the, seriously, what's broken here? Nothing yet, just emotions. That's all it's broken for now. So the others, pretty much the same. This is algorithms. This is the same kind of price action. Even here it was worse because in October, others, as they are normally weaker, they are the last to run. You could say that it was rejected, lower high and lower low, it's over. No, because eventually when BTC decided to run and everything ran and the BTC dominance decided to drop here, right? Decided to have the first drop, everything went high. And what are we seeing now for BTC dominance after this first top? It's trying, but for now it's unable. We'll see what happens next. This is just, sometimes I feel like updating so frequently for you guys could be detrimental because yes, you want to know what's happening all the time, but at the same time, I think it's confusing for all of you. But I guess it's about you handling all the information and the data. If I take a look at the 4 hour BTC dominance, I said this could be a fake, although for now it looked like that. It tried to retest and got rejected. With the BTC drop, it's now retesting the upper band. It could lose it, but this is noise for now because I have here Q4, a structure that apparently was bullish, high lows. But what did I say? RSI was telling me this was fake. What about candle-wise here in the daily? So far, it tried to retest again the Fibonacci. Again, I said many times, it doesn't matter if it goes a little bit higher, as long as it's not a higher high, right? Lower high is the first. Confirm with it's a lower high. Is this one? We'll find out soon. What if this is just a daily bearish retest? Something like this here, right? Like, even though price was going higher, RSI didn't, and we have a daily divergence. Doesn't really matter. The weekly, the various retest is still working. Right, in Q4 we have these fake wicks that were this retest here in total 3, these fake outs. So if you have a long-term plan, you shouldn't be worried about all these kind of moves, right? Let me just take another look at the 4 hour, right? And again, you can see that here, 2023, from April to pretty much September, when BTC decided to move. All I see here, right, this is a new range, right? Couldn't hold, rejected. It tried, but it couldn't really break strong above, which is why I said recently that I don't want BTC to take too much to break out the hand, because we could go back down, and that's what we are doing so far. So it couldn't. It became resistant, capitulation, but this capitulation was just pretty much revisiting the previous low. So this was just a range. So for people who think in high time frame terms, this was just accumulation. And when it reclaimed it, you can see the difference here. It was a spike, not sustainable. Couldn't, the next time it met it, it couldn't. These, what we are doing now, again, this is way healthier. We tried, we don't spike. We tried, we held, we try again, we hold again. Okay, confirmation that this could be the reclaim. You can see this didn't happen here. Spike, couldn't, spike, couldn't, capitulation, but range, chop, chop, chop. Then in January, with oscillators didn't really reset much. I'm gonna show it here. I'm gonna show the weekly so you can see what I mean. Here, the oscillators, it got to November 23, right? And then it was January, a little cool off, but not complete rollover, and then the final push into March, right? So we can see this was the January, the 4 hour just retested. It was just a fake out. Quick reclaim and accumulation again. Okay, this could be a sign that we are back, together with all the other indicators I use and I have shown. And then, yes, we go back again. So you can't say this is a proper reclaim, because it wasn't really much like a lost trend, right? Like here, or like we did later. It was just like a little pause within the bigger uptrend, right? So the uptrend, after all this chop from April to October, long chop, was reclaimed here. And all we did was kind of a retest, fake people out, and then this is the end. It started in September, it ended in March. 6 months, 24 weeks, more or less. Something in line with the weekly cycle I posted earlier today, around 24, 28 weeks. There's so much data, and then we start losing it with the oscillators very overheated here in March 88. And then the next time we find the 4 hour trend, what do? We start chopping, and this together with this was April, right? Back in April, we were already below the EMA. So this was the, okay, I'm out, in case you didn't get out earlier. And then we start chopping and making people go crazy. And this was the area in summer that it was over. We will never see 90K again, blah, blah, blah. And here in September, when I posted that bears will be dead again, we were reclaiming it. Oscillators wise, we were reclaiming it. This is nothing wrong. Seriously, zoom out. The moment we have this weekly candle that the race is all completely, we break this, like we had here. I posted here, why are people really so bearish here? We were attacking, reject. This was a matter of time. I posted it here with the meme of the airplanes, the altcoin airlines. We just broke, and yeah, this is normal. If I said this before, if I saw a spike, a huge spike, perhaps back to all-time high, it would be probably propelled by futures and open interest. It wouldn't be sustained, in my opinion. All of a sudden, we see in a 2 or 3 weekly candles, everyone has come back to the market. Really, all of a sudden, after breaking most people don't buy here. Most people buy when the television tells them to buy, and when everything is set for them to be trapped. So this would be, in my opinion, if we had such a big impulse, it would be a trap. We need time to reclaim. We had plenty of time here. That's why this spike was so big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weekly candles of upside with some corrections in between. Why? Because we were going down and correcting from July to November. Accumulation, right? But you have to identify that, the change of the trend, the reclaim, the silent reclaim that I've said plenty of times. Seriously, wait until things break, right? Don't open just your coin because it's now 10% down in 2 days and 20% down in the week. Then when you wake up one day and you see 25% hourly candles, you won't be suspicious, right? Because that's what you want. You will be happy. But now you're suspicious and worried and thinking that it's all over. And when you see the 25% green candle, you think we are back. This is just the beginning. Seriously, that's not a plan. And if you are in that spot right now, think about that. Work on that, because even if you get lucky, and I said in the post that the money at some point will put your money in front of your face, but if you don't have a plan, you will round trip it all. It's like in a casino, a slot machine. You're winning, but you want more and more and more, and you end up losing it all because you don't have any plans. You just follow the cling and the lights and all the simulations you have on the dopamine rush. Seriously, develop a plan. Don't wait for me or for anyone else to tell you when to act or how to interpret things. Okay, I post it frequently. I have the feeling that some people just don't watch what I post and just ask me, what do I think about this and that? And I explain this seriously very frequently. If you can just watch a 20 or 15-minute video because it's too long, perhaps you are not made for trading, because I've spent thousands of hours until finally finding something that works. Thousands of hours, literally. I've been here for 4 years, and you can see that I spend several hours a day. 365 days a year. You can make the sum and see how thousands of hours easily appear, right? So nothing to worry about yet. I wouldn't worry about this weekend price action. It's all good so far. We've been running weekly wise for quite some time. Nothing to worry about yet, in my opinion, right? So take care, and I'll keep you updated. Bye.